What's going on, Skin Bosses? Welcome back to another video. Today, I want to talk about something that's a little bit, I guess, darker and kind of hard to talk about, but there was a time when my acne was extremely bad in high school where I was being picked on, and I wished like the worst things on people who were making fun of me and who were talking down to me because of my acne. So I want to tell you a little bit of a story, and I want to tell you something that's extremely important that every acne person should know to help you get through these times and help you to be more confident and not let all these terrible things that people say and the opinions of others destroy your confidence and destroy you. Let me tell you my story. So this one day, I had a huge cyst pop up on my face. It was gigantic. It was in my forehead. It was maybe marble sized. And I used to get these cysts all the time. I would always have like 3 or 4 or 5, really depending on the week, but I never would have clear face. It would never be like, oh, I don't have any cysts at all. I would always have a couple. And this one particularly was really big, came to a whitehead. I think I popped it at the time, so it was even bigger and red, but all I remember is that it was big. And I woke up that morning and I was like, ugh, like why today of all days? And today of all days was the day that I had to give a speech in my English class. This was one of our like huge grading projects, so it was elaborate, and you had to like go, I think it was like a 5-minute speech. You had to go into all these details and really be on point, and you were being judged for how you presented yourself as well as what you presented. So that day I really wanted to wake up feeling confident. I wanted to wake up feeling, the best I could possibly feel, well rested, well ready to speak the things that I had written and researched and stuff. So right off the bat, I go to the mirror and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be terrible. Like, ugh. Get to school, some things happen in the morning that aren't the best, but let's fast forward. It's time for the English class. Sit down, and I'm the first person to get called up for the speech. Already, I know I have this big cyst on my forehead. Already, I know people are gonna look at it. I know all these things, and I'm doing my best to be myself, be as confident as I can be so that I can give my speech the best way I can give it. I get up. As I'm walking towards the front of the class, I hear people whispering about my cyst. So already, those things that I thought, they're being affirmed, that people are definitely seeing it, and they're making fun of it. So they're saying like, look how big that cyst is. Like, oh my gosh, she's got a big cyst. I'm hearing these things and I'm like, well, now that's all that I can concentrate on. I get to the front of the class. Unfortunately, it's not a group, presentation, so I can't rely on other people and sit back. I'm the center of attention. All 30 people in the class are staring at me. And now in my mind, I'm thinking they're all staring at my cyst. They don't care what I'm about to say. But I have to give the speech anyway. So I start going into my speech. My voice is shaky because I'm already nervous. It's definitely not the best speech that I've ever given. If I hadn't had a cyst that day, if people hadn't whispered about it, I would have probably given the best speech that I possibly could have at that point, and I probably would have gotten a better grade. After that speech, I just remember being so pissed, not only at myself, because I was like, I could have done better. I wish I could do another one so that I could do all the things that I wanted to do correctly. But I was also pissed at all the people in there, especially the ones who I, had heard whisper and stuff, obviously, but like everybody, because I was like, you know what, like it sucks that these people are picking on me, making me feel bad just because of something that's out of my control, something that's on my face. It's like, I felt so enraged. There was like a part of me that was like, man, I wish all of these people had acne. I wish they had it worse than me. I wish they all had to deal with what I had to deal with as like a revenge, as vindication, so that they would be like, you know what? I was being a bully. I was being mean, and I shouldn't have been that way because I just didn't understand what this guy is going through. And I was just hoping and wishing that they would have to deal with it one day, or at least something just as bad or worse. Now, that's such a terrible way to think, right? But I think a lot of you probably are sitting there right now relating with me and being like, you know what? I agree with you. You're probably feeling emotionally stirred up and being like, that's what they deserve. And whether or not that's what they deserve, the way that we react to those kind of situations and the way we think with our mind is super important, because unrelated to those people, forget them. Be selfish for a minute and think about yourself, right? The way that you react changes how your life goes. So take them out of the equation and think, what's going to make my life the best? This is something that I wrote about in the confidence book of my new acne program, the Acne Method. If you guys want to check it out, I think you definitely should. There are huge, huge, huge tips in there that I think everybody should know. Savannah Lee had an awesome testimonial where she said the confidence portion really changed the way that she's looking at herself, and I think it can help anybody. So definitely check it out. I'll put the link in the description below. But this is a part of that confidence book. The way that we think and the way that we react to situations, especially bullies, changes the way that our mind goes as we move forward week by week, month by month. So if you have these hateful thoughts where you say, I hope all those people have to deal with it too, and I hope all of them have something terrible happen to them. You put your mind into this bad state where you are thinking negatively and you're using negative words. Now, there's a whole nother part of confidence where the words that you use to describe yourself, you should also change those because they get deep rooted into your mind, and you change the way that you think about yourself, and you can start to think that you are a bad person, you're ugly, you can start to hate yourself, feel like you don't deserve things. That's something that we all should concentrate to. But right now, I want to just talk about how you react to what people are saying about you. When you say that, when you have that negativity immediately pop into your head, you reinforce the way that you react, so that every time someone has anything negative to say to you, anytime you have a comment on Instagram or social media where someone says something negative, even sometimes when people aren't trying to be negative, but they're just saying something that to you comes off in the wrong way, you're slowly ingraining it into your mind to have a negative reaction every single time. Slowly, this turns you into a more cynical person, and it turns you into someone who's more likely to get into dark, depressed moods where you feel more and more alone. Because if you think most people are out to get you, if you think most people are thinking the same way as the people who have been the meanest to you in your life, you start to skew the spectrum of how you assume the average person is into a really negative area where you think most people are negative and only a few people are really nice. And that is a really bad way to go through life because, yeah, you start to feel really lonely, like no one understands, but also no one cares about you. And that can start to slip and drain into how the way that you feel about yourself, where you can say, I don't care about me because I'm alone, I don't fit in, people don't like me, so I started to not like myself too. And it can be extremely hard to dig yourself out of that hole when you've dug it so deep. As hard as this sounds, this is going to sound ridiculous, but when somebody is being a bully, when somebody's saying something overtly mean to you, when you have to go through those stories like I just told you, where a whole classroom of people is making you feel embarrassed and ridiculed, while it can feel impossible, it's really good to practice the art of having a more neutral or positive reaction to this. So here's one of the biggest weapons and tools that I can give you when it comes to these really negative things that people are saying about you. Think in your mind, everybody's on a path. Relate it to yourself. You're on a path too. Do you think the same way that you thought 5 years ago, 10 years ago? Do you have the same values and morals? Do you say the same things? Have you changed in a way that now when you look back, you say, I cannot believe I was saying those things. Those things are embarrassing, and I hope nobody ever sees those. You see it happen all the time with celebrities. You see it happen all the time with social media people. They'll get called out for tweets they put out 5 years ago where they were saying things that are really hateful about certain groups or whatever it is. They were using a language that now they're like, I'm so embarrassed, I can't believe it, and they have to apologize for it. Everybody has these kind of things, and I bet if you look back at yourself 5-10 years ago, you're gonna say, I have grown a lot too, and I would never say those things anymore. It's because you've developed. So a powerful tool is that when you are experiencing these moments where people are being mean to you, think that person is on a path. They are really far back in the path. And right now, where they are, they're really mean and hateful, and they spew these angry things. Maybe they're in a position in their life where their life is not going well. Maybe they have people hating on them constantly. Maybe they have a bad situation at home. Maybe they have an abusive relationship with their parents. Whatever it is, maybe they feel dark and alone. Maybe they feel depressed. Maybe they don't feel worthy. And so the way that they get it out, you've heard this before, is they project. They try to bring other people down. It's like crabs in a bucket, right? One starts to come out, and you see that person doing better or whatever, and you bring that person down because it makes you feel better when other people are miserable too. Misery loves company. I think we've heard that phrase before, and it's absolutely true. If you start to think, man, these people are on a path, and I don't really like the way that they are right now, but one day they're going to look back and regret that they were so mean to me, because they're going to grow into a new person and realize that they had a lot of hate in their heart. But I'm not going to allow their hate in their heart to start to grow hate in my heart. Because while it feels like you're in the right, while it feels like you're vindicated, while it feels like emotionally you should, hope bad things on them and hope that they have terrible things in their life happen as well, it doesn't do anything good for you. Negative thoughts don't do anything productive for you. All they're doing is just changing your life to be worse, changing your mindset to be worse, and having you slowly develop hatred and self-destructive habits and attitudes. I know that sounds absolutely impossible, but start to practice this week. At some point, you're going to have either real life or social media make you feel bad. And maybe it's not specifically about you. Maybe you see a post that makes you think like, oh my gosh, that person has a filter on their face and they're pretending that they're being transparent. And it makes me feel bad because I actually am transparent, and they eat terrible and they have no acne and I have acne, and it's not fair. Right when that happens, practice this into play. Don't let other people's negative situations and opinions affect you, but also don't allow your negative thoughts to take over the way that you're thinking or the way that you're reacting to situations. This is a hugely powerful tool that will transform you and allow acne to grow you into a stronger, more solid person who you look back on in 5-10 years and say, man, I'm grateful I had to go through those hard experiences and I dealt with them the way that I dealt with them, because now I'm a better person than I would have ever been if I never had to go through those situations. I'm now much farther down my path. And yeah, it can just let you not take what other people are saying to heart and let it like ruin your confidence or ruin your day. Again, you just say, they're on a different part of their path than me and one day they'll grow. But right now, they're just lashing out because they're angry. And that's something that's helped me immensely with my acne journey. So I just want to share that story, share that point of view, because I feel like it's a really powerful tool and I feel like everybody should know it. So yeah, let me know what you thought about this. And if you ever have tried to put this into play before, I know it's hard. Let me know how it's been. Has it been something that's helped you, or has it been something that you're still struggling to put into play? I think we're all on our own journey, but I think it's cool that we have this Skin Boss community where we're all helping each other and we're helping develop each other, sharing ideas. And that's exactly what I want to do here with my channel. I want to help as many people as possible. So let me know in the comments below. As always, check out Banish, which is my favorite acne scarring and discoloration company. They have massively fantastic products. I definitely do not suggest skincare products very often, but this one is the one that I've been using for about 1.5 years, and it's improved my acne scars massively. You can use my code Brian5 for $5 off your first order of $50 or more. Definitely check them out. They help support me and the channel so much, so I really appreciate them. They're family to me. Check them out. If you enjoyed the video, give it a big old thumbs up. Let me know what you thought in the comments below, and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Remember, you are not alone. You are beautiful, and you're a part of Team Acne. I'll see you Skin Bosses next video.